Hello, everyone. I am Courtney Coco Brown, your reigning Miss Blind Diva 2025 and your reigning Miss Photogenic 2025.
Hey y'all, I'm Ashley Inniss, reigning Miss Independent 2025.
Hello, everyone. I am Lakisha Guest, and I'm your reigning director 2025.
And I'm Bianca Johnson, your reigning Miss Altruistic 2025.
And we
Are the
Better together.
Queen's Court.
You are bold, you are fearless, you are radiant. It's time to unlock the diamond from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching high.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BFF Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Blaque Diamond, and today is a very special episode. So, we are celebrating International Pageant Day. So, for all of you ladies out there participating in pageants, if you are currently a title holder, congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back, and just celebrate you. So today with me, I have the honor of actually having my whole Queen's Court with me today. We are the Better Together edition of the Miss Blind Diva Empowerment Pageant for the year of 2025. We are currently in our recruitment season for 2026. So you guys will be seeing us out and about doing our thing and getting other ladies signed up to participate in the pageant that we had the opportunity to participate in. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to my court of queens. So, we have Miss Blind Diva 2025 and also Miss Photogenic 2025, Miss Courtney Coco Brown. We have
hello.
hello. And we have Miss Ashley Inniss, Miss Independent 2025.
Hey y'all.
And we have Director's Choice 2025, Miss Lakisha Guest.
Hey,
And we have myself, the host, Miss Altruistic 2025. So thank you all for joining us today. I hope you are ready to be inspired, to be empowered, and just to hear our journeys of how we became the queens that we are today. So we're going to start first with a little game I like to play on my podcast, which you guys know as the What Is She Thinking? But for this segment, we're switching it up a little bit. So it's going to be the Quick Fire Crown Edition. So this is a little icebreaker for you to get to know the ladies a little bit, and just have some fun. All right. So the first one is, and I want each of you to answer. And we'll answer in order. Courtney, you'll go first, and then Ashley, and then you, Miss Lakisha. All right. So, what is one word that describes your reign?
Wow. One word that describes my reign. um, I would say, mm, I would have to say exciting.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Miss Ashley?
Okay, I definitely say it's been a little adventurous. So that's my word.
Adventurous. Ooh. And how about you, Miss Lakisha?
um, happy.
Happy. Okay. And let's see, what word would I say describes my, I would say empowering, definitely. That would be a word that describes how I feel. Empowerment is everything that I do on a daily basis, but just going through this journey, I would definitely have to say it is empowering. All right, so our next one is, are you an early bird or a night owl?
I am a night owl.
I'm definitely an early bird.
I'm definitely an early bird too.
Me too. I'm definitely an early bird. I like to get up early, get things done, get the day
Right.
moving. Yeah, early bird for me as well. All right, so three early birds and one night owl.
But
Okay,
I would have.
not bad.
I'm sorry. I would have to interject. I'm gonna have to say I'm a combination of both though, because
Mhm.
I can get up and I can stay up late too. So I can do both.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can say that too because yeah, especially if I have a busy day or I have a lot to do, yeah, you'll catch me up till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning,
Mhm.
still working.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'll
So
say
might be
something.
sleepy, but I'm up.
yeah.
I'll say something interesting too. My schedule has recently, I guess I'm all over the place now. I just be up, just
I just be up.
I
Just
be
be
up. I
like,
be like,
why am
Right,
I
right,
up? Like
I
right,
be up
right.
I literally
to
be like,
do
"Oh,
stuff.
why are you up, Coco? Like, go to sleep." But I can't. I'll be up doing something. Then I'll be like, okay, why
Right.
am I asleep? I need to be, yeah. So I'm
That's where
all
it's
over the
at.
Wow.
place.
Right, right.
Most definitely. All right, so our next one is going to be let's see, let me see, what's my next one? I'm gonna go what is one must have in your pageant survival bag?
What is the one must have
In your pageant survival
in
bag.
my
So
pageant
something
that
you just can't live without.
okay. So that I should have had or that I did have.
I know
Oh,
mine was pins. I didn't have any pins.
I did not have same. I did not have any safety pins or whatsoever in my pageant bag that I should have had, and I'm so grateful for um Miss uh she was right next to me um
That one girl that had everything.
Denise, not Denise. Hold on. No, it wasn't Denise. She was sitting right. She was in between me and you,
Was it Stephanie?
Ashley. Stephanie,
Stephanie?
Yeah,
yes.
Stephanie.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
She came in clutch. She was a lifesaver. I promise you, I probably
Yeah,
used
Yes,
everything.
you
about
was.
almost
Yes,
all of her safety pins.
yes.
I don't know. I bought a whole thing and left them by mistake. And when I say she had everything laid out nice and neat, she was like, "Yeah, help yourself." Oh, man, yeah. Safety pins came in clutch for sure.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. What
Yeah.
about you, Ashley?
You know what? I'm just gonna say maybe a pair of flats, just to be honest with you. I ain't had no flats because I just wear heels
Oh
all the
yeah,
time.
my
So
feet was hurting. Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
say
Yeah,
some
remember I was
flats.
walking barefoot 'cause my feet was hurting.
Right. Mhm. So those always come in handy. So I bring some.
Yes.
Mhm.
What about you, Lakeisha?
Oh, girl, you don't want to know like me? Girl, I didn't have my hearing aid charger. My
Oh
ballot,
no.
yeah. And look, when I'm so thankful and grateful, we did make it through until it's over before it went dead.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yes, I had left my hearing aid ballot at the hotel. I said, "Oh no!" I mean, I got everything prepared for the pageant, but the only thing that I forgot was my hearing aid ballot. All right, oh God. But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm thankful. Yeah, we made it through it. It didn't go dead.
Oh wow. That is so good.
Yeah.
So we have one last question. So last question is what is your go-to either hype song or a song that like just gets you up and motivates you to get your day started?
For me, right
Mm.
now, I am still on the hype, and I shout out to Director's Choice, Keisha. She had put me onto this song. It is "Phenomenal Black Woman" by China Styles. That is
Yeah.
still like my hype song right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
What about you,
Okay.
Ashley?
So actually, I don't have a go-to song right now. It's kind of just whatever I make up in the morning.
Mhm.
So it's
Okay,
whatever song is on my heart.
okay. What about you, Lakeisha?
Sure. Okay, what the country again?
What is your go-to either hype song or a song that just gets you motivated to get your day started?
Mm. Oh gosh. I don't have one right now. I mean, it's so much on my head right now. I don't know.
That's okay. That's all right.
I'm
I
sorry.
would say for me, for the longest, my hype song or a song that really gets me motivated and feeling just empowered and just happy to be a woman would definitely be I'm Every Woman. Like I
Uh-huh.
love me some Shaka Khan. Like that's just
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
that song for
Yeah.
me will never go out.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good one.
Like, so
Yeah.
that would be my song.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and transition and go into our introduction segment. All right, ladies. So now it is time to let the listeners hear all about you, who you are, what makes you who you are, and what led you to this journey to pageantry. So we're going to start with our double title holder, Miss Coco
Whoop
Brown.
whoop.
Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Courtney Coco Brown. And as Miss Altruistic said, Miss Bianca Johnson, I am your reigning Miss Fine Diva 2025 and Miss Photogenic 2025. So, what led me to this journey was I was a nominee from Miss Blind Diva 2024 and Miss Independent 2024, Miss Rosalind Kennedy. And it was something that was not in my foreseen future. Pageantry was never on my list of things to do. I was like, you have absolutely lost your minds. It was something that I enjoyed watching on TV. And it was like, okay, cool. Never thought in a million years would I ever be, on a stage. And even more or less as a blind woman. So she was like, no, I'm going to get up there. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to pass my crown to you. And I was like, yeah, okay, no. Um, she did. She got up there. She took her crowns, and sure enough, I was like, wow. Yeah, and I had already said I was gonna do it, and when I say I'm gonna do something, then I'm like, dang, I done already told this lady I'm gonna commit. So now I committed. Then I told Crystal, who is the president of Eyes Like Mine, that I was gonna do her pageant. And I'm like, dang, I already said I'm gonna do it. So here I am. So I committed to it. So once I started, then I started meeting you beautiful ladies, and I'm like, okay. But then it was something behind it that I had something to prove to myself that, you know what, there's something more. It was bigger than me. That if I can step foot on this stage and I can travel, I can get up there and I can be a face of an empowerment, because it's more than a beauty pageant. And it's an empowerment pageant that if we can break down the barriers of all the challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis, that we can get up there, we can showcase our talent, we can showcase our power, we can answer these questions, and we can get up there and have on these beautiful gowns, and we could just show that we have came from a long way, that we can um just continue to push through everything that we come across. That's what I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to show that if I can do it, that they can do it too. So
Mhm.
outside of that, I am the CEO and founder of Cut Not Crushed Enterprises, and I am the CEO of Bling Boutique by Coco, Lily's Lifesavers LLC, and Blind Diamonds. And these are my companies that I created, that also they all correlate with each other. Bling Boutique is my fashion company that I create fashion and custom pieces, from beautiful gowns and blinged out shoes, from glasses, book bags, you name it, because I love all things sparkly and like just beautiful. I think that we can add sparkle back into the world with one diamond at a time, and that's truly what I stand for. Lily's Lifesavers LLC was the first company that I started. I named it after my mom. When I was presented with the cane for the first time, when I started losing my vision, I did not want to use my cane. And when I was presented with my O&M instructor, she said I had to use a cane, and I refused. And within the first 2 weeks, and she was like, I got to come back and see you. And I was like, no. I almost pretty much killed myself because I refused to use it. I fell down a flight of stairs. I walked into a wall, walked into a window. I fell off a curb, and I was like, absolutely not. And then my sister was like, we got to find the flyest cane because you can't be out here just rocking this ugly cane. And to me, it was like, she's right. And at the time, it was nothing out there that was cute. It was just, unfortunately, and I know it's not about the cane being cute or pretty, but for me, it was just something like this is not who I am. That's like, dang, this is what my life has come to. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my vision. I can't believe this. So I blinged out my cane for the first time, and then I could see it better. I was losing my vision at the time, so I was able to see it, and I was just so excited to use my cane. And so when I took it out for the first time, I'm getting people, sighted individuals who were like, "Oh, I like your stick, girl," and across the street, they were all excited for me, and I was like, "Yeah, girl, it was super cute." And I was like, oh, I like this. And I was just like, oh, I got red on the day. So let me get my red cane out. And so it just became something. And then I went on my first trip, and I met other blind ladies who they've never had their canes decorated before. And it was like, oh, Coco, who did your cane? And I was like, oh, I did. And then it was like, oh, can you do it for me? So then after that, it was like, I never used my cane until you did that for me. And then that's how Lily's became my company. And I knew then it was the purpose. Like, you know what? This is what this was for, because I want other individuals to experience what I did, because it's more so about safety, and like blindness doesn't define us. It's just a part of us. But I want you to feel good. Like, we're not being put in this box, that
Right.
we could still be expressive. We could still be individuals. We could still
Fashionable.
look good.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes, we
right,
could still
right,
be
right,
sexy. We could still look
right,
good.
right.
We could
I
still
agree.
look.
Yes,
I could
ma'am.
still look real good and still have fashion with this cane, and
Yes,
and
yes.
still hold my head up, and it doesn't matter. Just because I can't see doesn't mean I have to look, the way that society deems that I'm supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, my company, Blind Diamonds, I created that company because I wanted it to be surrounded by women who I identified with, women who like really knew exactly what I was going through. It's nothing like being surrounded by people who understand you, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
when you're with your family they know, okay, yeah, she's blind, but actually to be around people who you can go and be like, oh my gosh, y'all, today, boy, the computer wasn't working, jaws weren't working, or something, or these
Right,
Yeah.
kids
right.
is kidding, or man, accessibility to something, whatever it may be, or just life in general, who your circle of friends can actually understand you, is something that I wanted, that helped me get through my level of grief, because it took me 9 years to be able to actually come to terms with losing my vision, because
Mm-hmm.
losing my vision and losing my mom at the same time was very hard for me. So I wanted to be able to transition into some place that was a safe space for women just like me, who was also going through their own level of vision loss, or who's been visually impaired their whole life, but just being in a circle where everybody was accepted, no judgment zone. And I call it Blind Diamonds because the level of pressure that it takes to form a diamond is unbreakable. And I think that's what blind women and individuals are. We are unbreakable, and we are sparkly, and we're adding sparkle back into the world one diamond at a time. And that is who I am outside of the Miss Blind Diva Empowerment Pageant.
All right, man. I'm sitting there like, shaking my head, like, yep, I agree. Yep. That's basically how I was too. Like, I've always been very fashionable and like things to match and all that, even before I went blind. So when I started using the cane, and actually, I found out that, I had always been using the standard, red and white cane. But then there was a company that came out called Ambutech, and they started
Mhm.
doing the colored canes. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, so I can get my
Mhm.
favorite color. Like, I've
Yeah.
never had a
Mhm.
blinged out king, but I started getting the colored kings, and so I would tell people about it, and so other people that I knew that were blind that had favorite colors, they were like, "Oh, can you order me one? Can you get me one?" So yeah, I started kind of like getting people into. I'm like, "Oh, I love it." So yeah, I made sure I had like a pink and white. I had a pink and black. I had, I made sure because pink is my favorite color. So I would always
Yeah.
make sure that I had, something with pink in it that was my cane, and people would always compliment me on, my cane. So I can only
Mhm.
imagine what a blinged out cane, would
Right,
be.
Yep.
right, right.
So that I have I partner with Ambitech. I have a vendor with them, and like so they do like the pink handle. So I literally piggyback. So like if you want the pink handle, then I mean I've done so many different projects. Like I literally just got through doing a Taz Minnie and Devil project for a client. She loved Taz, and then I just got through doing a Tom and Jerry project for another client. So like it like goes beyond. I just got through doing a Tweety Bird project for someone for their cane. So like I love what I do, but I for me it's literally just like, oh okay, and I have a holiday series that I'm in the middle of doing for each individual holiday, for Christmas, for Easter, for um Juneteenth, for Independence Day, for New Year's, like so and those canes will stay the same. So but it's definitely just something to express yourself, but just to
Hmm.
still be like, cute. Like I have a polka dot cane and it just a limit because I know that it's something that we have to have, right?
Hmm.
So just like we have a different pair of shoes, and it's not just for the women either; it's for men too. So if you want leather, or if you want, a nice sleek black, whichever, whatever, carbon fiber, whatever. But we have different pairs of shoes, or you have beach themed seashells, whatever. So it's just one of those things that I know is one thing that I have to have this cane. So if I have to have it, then I want it to incorporate. It's an accessory of mine. So I
Hmm.
want it to match.
Yes, definitely. I agree. I love it. I love it. All right, Miss Ashley, let's hear from you.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about how we got into this little pageant, the pageant game. So honestly, my experience started with the prayer, believe it or not. So I came across an article one day at church, and I was just like, somebody nominated somebody for like a little Caribbean conference or something like that. So I was like, I just said a little silent prayer in my heart. I was like, I want somebody to nominate me for something, just maybe one day. So fast forward a couple months later, one of my Mary Kay sales directors, somebody in her unit who just so happened to be Miss Deborah Fitzgerald. So she came through and she was like, "Yeah, I want to nominate you to participate in the pageant." I was like, "Wow, okay." So God really heard my prayers. So that's how I was formally introduced to the Miss Blind Diva Empowerment Pageant. I had never heard of it. Didn't know this
Hmm.
stuff existed. I would never be the one to be anybody's pageant girl. I like fashion and stuff, but you know how you still be overcoming like the confidence and being beautiful and being you, and you still be working through those things. So
Yes.
somebody's listening on here today, you think that you can't be a pageant girl because of all of the, stereotypes or just the kind of the beliefs that you might have about yourself. I kind of want to flip it on you and be like, nope, you're exactly what you thought you couldn't be, or who you think you're not is who you actually are, because you really are beautifully graced to be you. And that's all being a pageant girl is about. It's just about
Hmm.
expressing who you are, your authentic self. So there's no need to pretend to be somebody else or put on a show, because everybody can kind of tell that you be fake. You just gotta be for real. You just be for real. Just be authentic with you. You don't have to become
Mhm.
somebody different to be, on the stage and to communicate, your likeness. It's okay to be authentically yourself. So that was my introduction into the pageant world. And if there's any advice that I would give to anybody that's considering the opportunity, just show up. Half the fight is getting there. So that was my personal experience. Am I gonna make it? Am I gonna get the jersey? So just get there and see what happens. That was my personal experience. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, how this gonna work out, but I showed up, and lo and behold, I'm a part of the Queen's Court. So that's my encouragement to everybody. Just be yourself, show up, and see what happens.
And who are you outside of your title?
Okay, so outside of my title, I'm a Mary Kay beauty consultant. I'm a doctorate student studying to, honestly, I just want to be a missionary, travel, talk about Jesus, share some love, eat some good food, have some good conversations, make some good art. I'm an artist. I make sculptures and paintings and anything creative. I love to travel, so I'm going to be talking to our title holder, Miss Blind Diva, to see if she can customize some canes for me
I
as somebody
know.
that loves to
See the
travel.
new
Absolutely. Yes,
cane. I'm
girl.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I was
already
feeling
thinking.
yeah.
this is the reason I really started using
Absolutely.
my cane is because I noticed that it helps at airports. If you want to get to the line and need some assistance, just pull out the cane
Oh
and be like, oh,
yes, girl.
yep,
It parts the Red Sea. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pull that cane out, honey. They
yep.
move out the way.
Yes, so that was my motivation.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Miss Lakisha, what about you? Let's hear from you.
Okay. What made me come be part of pageant? Well, I didn't even think about joining the pageant till how did I find out about the pageant? I had followed Miss Blind Diva 2024, which is Miss Sister Rosalind Kennedy, and I follow her on her page, and she inspired me so much. And when she shared her story about how to be independent and being yourself and all that stuff, and then when I saw her connected with Miss Blind Diva Empowerment Pageant, and I seen her have won, and she had talked to me about the pageant. I'm like, ooh, I asked her a question about the pageant. I wouldn't even think about doing the pageant, but I'm like, At first, I wasn't thinking I was gonna be, that perfect because I always was worried about my, my speech, my deaf or blind. I'm like, well, you know what? It's I tell you, I'm just gonna give a shot to like to meet to new people and hear their stories and all that stuff because I didn't have no friends then. I mean, I still had a friend, but you guys are. But still, like get to know them and hear their story and see what's all the pageant about. So when I start be a part of it, I see the strengths, the purpose, and resilience and just standing there and listening to everybody's story and telling me who you are and be yourself and all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm in the right place to to inspire people. Um, I'm gonna cry, y'all. I'm trying not to cry, but still, uh, but still, it's like. So I was so nervous to talk to somebody. I like, would they understand me, or like, cause my speech, I was just to keep worried about my speech. So every time I was there, I'm like, okay, the way I talk is my daughter, my baby girl, she always said, "You did good, mom. You did good." So I'm like, okay. So as I'm talking to you guys and the rest of the contestants, everybody understand me. So I'm like, okay. I think I'm in the right place. So I feel so good to be part of it and just start, express, just share and inspire people and empower people, and so this is why it felt so good to be a part of it and to build and connect with other women and build a relationship there and yeah I mean it's so amazing to hear everybody because when I'm hearing that on the outside in my hometown like you blind people can't do this, blind people can't do that, da, 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 da. Hey, when I got there, when y'all showed me like yes we can, you whatever we put our minds
Mm-hmm.
on, you know what I'm saying? You do what you love or do what you do, and you can do what anybody can do, And that's why I'm so proud of myself doing this. So like the YMCA. So before I lost my vision, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go do my 3 mile running, and do my workout. Go in to put my 45 minute cardio in and do my running and stuff, and then in
Wow.
2000, yeah, I mean I work out like every morning. So I love my routine when I get up in the morning and work out and I go home and take shower, get ready for work, and to start my day and work
Mm-hmm.
with my kids and da 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 da. And after work, I come home and cook and hang out with my daughter and go right back at the gym. I usually work out twice a day, and then I go to a class that called like a fit to five. So it's basis like if you have arthritis pain and all that stuff, like joint problem and all that stuff, and there's a trainer there that help you work out and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and so I'm like, I love that. So in around 2018, I realized my business started getting worse. So I stopped giving up. I gave up. I stopped going to the gym, and because I have, I was, it was hard to see. So I had, bumped to people, tripped over things, and can't see the button, can't see the machine. It was so hard. And then sometimes when you try to ask somebody to help you, sometimes they just ignore you and everything. I mean, some will help you, some don't. And so, it was in my feeling. I'm like, man, I can't do this. So I haven't been back to the gym ever since and tried to come with some idea. I said, you know what? I can't be just been down and bound like so. Depression it's hit me like I lost my routine. I mean, I was way backtracking, like I was off tracking. Like
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see nothing. Like I said, I had to push myself. Well, like I said, when I watched Miss Rosling on her page and stuff, she inspired me and she made me say, you know what, you cannot give up on yourself. You do what you can, and I did. So I get up and try to take notes, try to figure out what can I do to go back to gym. I couldn't find no trainer. Like I can't find nobody to work out with me. So what I did, I had talked to my caseworker at the blind at RSB. I told her, I said, you know what? I said I want to go back to the gym so bad. Is there any option that can help me like any kind of accessible tool for me to use at the gym? And she's like, of course. And I'm like, would you, like I asked her like what? They say they have so many braille, they have dots, they have bumper stickers, they have high contract tape, and I'm like, oh yes, 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 I need that. So yeah, so what I did, I said, okay, this is my goal. I want to start connect with our blind and low vision community, because I I followed them on our page in our home community, and just reading everybody's stories, telling how they feel like how they telling why they stopped going to the gym and said about the YMCA needs some kind of accessible tool that would be cool and they would go back. So in my mind, I said, and since I won that title holder and saying that I can be in there, I want to be out there, you know what? And since I had talk about accessibility provide for our community, I said, you know what? I need to speak up, use my voice, and see we can you provide for accessibility, And so I went to the YMCA and talked to Miss I talked to director and telling her about why I haven't been to the gym for a while, and she was like, yeah, she said I haven't seen you in months. She said, what happened, what's going on? And so I was like, I was telling her that I was down about, and I told my business was getting work, and she said, oh, and then she was like, how can I help you? What we can do to bring you back? So I had talked to her. I was so nervous, y'all. I'm like, I didn't know if she's gonna say yes or no, because I wanted to be equal, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know it was gonna be an effect to other sight people there that can see, and she was like, so I asked her, I said, well, there's the bumper stickers, brails, all that stuff, and that we can provide at the gym, but I don't know if y'all allow us to have that in the in the gym. And she was like, why not? She said, I don't see why not. And my heart dropped like, She said, yeah. She was like, yeah. She said, I don't know nothing about it, but she said, I would love for you to get a hold of Blind Rehab and to ask him what kind of resources we need and provide for that. I was so excited, y'all. I'm like, oh, thank you, God. And she was like, yeah, so we can provide for bumper stickers and all that stuff. It's just the beginning. So I have so many feedback from our blind community. Like, y'all, I can't read my message. I got so many email people asking questions, what we need, and I told them, I promise we're gonna make that happen. Just bear with me, because I'm doing by myself. I can't do it
Yeah.
alone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so excited about it, and I'm so glad and great. I'm so grateful for the YMCA stepping up and provide for that for our community. And not just for me, it's for our
Mhm.
community, it's for anybody, even any senior citizen. We got the older people that can't see and everything. What's so funny, y'all? There was an older lady. She looked like she about 70 or 80 years old. And I walked behind her on the step, and she looked down and she said, "Good Lord." She said, "Oh, I can see real." And I said, "Ma'am," I said, "what's wrong?" And she's like, "No." She said, "My goodness, that tape." She said, "I'm so thankful we have this tape. When they do that?" And I'm like, "Oh." So I said, "So it does help you?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Girl, I got cataract in one in my right eye, and her other left eye was like blurry and everything." And she said something, what kind of eye disease she had, so I didn't catch that. And then I said, "I'm so glad that you it does help." And then she turned around, look at me, and then she was like, I said, she would look at me for a second. She said, "Oh, that's you. I saw you on KBS 12 News. That is you." I'm like, "Yes, man, it's me." She's like, "Oh my goodness." She said, "I am so proud of you." And now I'm like, "Oh," and I said, "Thank you." And I said, "It's just the beginning." I said, if you have any idea, give me a holler, and I will make sure we provide any accessible it's at the Y. So yeah, and I'm so grateful, y'all. It's I'm so excited. And then I had so many people email me and everything, and then I'm now I signed up for majority council for the blind. I am in the leadership, and I'm a partnership, and then I'm like, oh God,
God.
because they heard my story and heard me what I'm making difference for the YMCA, and want me to share with them, and they had some ideas for the gym, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. Like, well, my goal is to get a voice over transmitter machine. It's very
Mhm.
expensive, and they told me to come to the National Federation of the Blind conference. It's coming up in April. Want to be a guest speaker, and I'm like, what? And
Oh,
want me?
wow.
Yeah, I thought I would be a guest speaker at the National Federation of the Blind, and for the majority, and they want me to share my story and talk about some idea of what I'm working on my project to make more spaces for our community at the gym and all that stuff. So they want me to share, because they want me to meet the sponsor. They want me to meet the technology people that who make all the technology for the gym.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. And then yeah, they were like it would be like over 2,000 blind people will be there, share their story and all that stuff. So I'm so excited about that. So yeah, my goals is to continue to do it, inspire people, even young children, you can be anything you want to be, and see, that's what I'm saying. And on my outside of my title, so what I do is I connect with people in our community and other different state too. I'm working on to create a peer support group on my side of page for about accessibility. When I get that together, I would, tag you guys and join in with me, and
Mhm.
to hear everybody's story about accessibility, and yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing so far. So it's just the beginning, you know.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for, letting people hear who you are outside of your crowns and
Yeah.
your titles. So
Yeah.
now we're going to move on to our next segment. We are going to do our behind the crown segment.
Okay.
All right, ladies. So I hope you are ready for your behind the crown. So, Miss Courtney, your first question is going to be, what does wearing your crown mean to you?
Okay, that's a really good question. Wearing my crown, it means for me, I always have a crown, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I always have a crown on my head. For me, it's a crown that now people can see the crown that I've always wore on my head. That
a
is
visible
of
representation of your
yes,
crown.
of
Yeah.
what I've always stood for, something that I've always achieved. Um that I've always set out for, that, oh, okay, so now I can physically see everything that, and it's something that tangibly that now I can see because I'm not going to lie, when I lost my vision, I struggled with, getting my confidence back, my identity back,
Mm-hmm.
everything plummeted like at an all-time low. So it was just something to pick me up, like, you know what, my crown, it tilted a little bit. It didn't slip, but now it's like, oh, okay, I got this crown. So this is something that physically that I have on my head that I can show that it's strength, it's power, and it's an empowerment piece to show other individuals, not just blind, but anybody that say, you know what, if she can get out here and do this, then I can too, no matter what it is. And I can just step out and motivate and continue to push through. So it's just to show a statement piece that I can go and drive in the right direction.
Love it. I love it. All right, Miss Ashley. So your question is, what is one misconception that you think people have about pageants?
Okay, so this is the perfect question for me because I was kind of hitting on it a little bit earlier. So the misconception that I believe that people have about pageants is that you have to be like the epitome of, you got to be like a Barbie doll, or like, the perfect 10 and the 5'10" model, or you just have to kind of have it all together and, just be the
Mm-hmm.
image of perfection. I think that's like a common misconception that I kind of believe people might have, that you can't, you have to be like flawless. Like, well, that's,
Mm-hmm.
nobody really is flawless. Nobody's perfect in themselves. Like, it's kind of like that's kind of like an impossible stereotype to even kind of have to aim towards. And once that misconception is kind of, you pop it like a bubble, it's like, oh no, that's not really what you have to be. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to form yourself into that image. It kind of takes the, it takes
Takes
the
that
veil.
pressure
Yeah, it takes
off.
the veil and the pressure off of everything, where you can, like I said, just show up and be authentically yourself and give that to people versus it having to be anything else. Because people need real versus anything. So
Hmm.
just be
Exactly.
authentic.
Exactly. And people always think pageants are just about beauty. Like,
Right, it's not.
No,
it's
it's
not.
not. It's not. It's
Because anybody can do the hair
responsibility.
and the wig
Yeah.
and the nails and the
Right.
heels,
Right.
and you just be
Right.
as empty and hollow, and it'd be like, no, no.
Yes,
You know,
Right.
they
You need some
actually say that about
substance.
some of the most attractive people are actually the most unhappy.
they are. They are, because it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
nothing but it's very vain.
Right.
The
Right.
most unhappy people, the ones who everybody thinks they're the real put together, got the hair done, nails done, everything, but they are the most unhappy and they're very empty inside.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. All right, Miss Lakisha, your question is, what has been your biggest personal challenge during your reign?
Hmm. What's my biggest? You said what's my biggest what
Challenge.
challenge? Hmm. What's my biggest challenge? Oh, I can't think of that one.
So have you like come during, your mission to advocate and to, bring awareness to not only just blindness but accessibility? Like, have you met with any kind of resistance or challenges or things that barriers that,
Oh yeah,
hinder what you're
sorry.
trying to do?
Yeah, well, breaking barriers. That's what my mission is, to breaking barriers. To the challenge of your thing that you can do, put your mind in, and to advocate, to speak up. Our voices matter, and we have to stand up for ourselves. To speak up. That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. So the
Yes.
last question is actually going to be for me. So, the last question is how do you balance being a queen and still being you? So for me, I've always been a queen besides the crown, like Miss Courtney said. The
Yes,
crown
ma'am.
is just the symbolism, but empowerment is what I am and what I do. And before the crown, before the pageant, it's something that I've always been passionate about. So the two blend very well, actually. They don't cause any issues. It hasn't changed who I am and what it is I do. So I would say for me, yes, I definitely wear both hats very well.
Okay.
All right, so our next segment is going to be our Sash Sister shout out. So I want each of you ladies to think about either a current title holder or a former title holder of the Miss Blind Diva Empowerment Pageant. And just give them a shout out, and then also just either you can say something that you admire about them or something that they taught you or that you learned from them.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a little bit of a little, if I could have a little bit of wiggle room because I'm a blind diva. If you'll give me a little bit of leeway, Miss Bianca, if I can segue from your little question, because I gotta deviate. I can't just pick one. So if you could give me a little cheat sheet, and I promise I'll be quick. I promise I'll be quick. So
Okay.
I'm gonna pick. I have first my first Sash sister I want to shout out will be Miss Roslyn Kennedy, Miss Blind Diva 2024, Miss Independent 2024. Without her, I would not be here at all. I would have not met you beautiful ladies. But she saw something in me that I did not see in myself, and I am truly grateful for the nominee, and I'm truly glad that I accepted this opportunity because I am empowering others, but it's something that I inspire myself. With that being said, I am so glad that I did step foot on that stage and I met you beautiful ladies, and I love to have this opportunity to share this court with you guys. Um, I want to shout out Miss Independent, Miss Ashley. You are truly beautiful, phenomenal, and amazing. I love your whole vibe. Like every time
Yes.
you speak, you just give me like that. Yes, girl, just easy breezy. You just like
Yeah.
I just hear ocean waves when you speak, girl. Like,
Beautiful.
you just give me that whole common vibe. I just love you. Continue to thrive and do your thing. And Keisha, always remember that you are phenomenal. Please don't ever forget that. Your voice is amazing. You are an amazing person. Don't let nobody dim your lights. Please, your voice needs to be heard. And please continue to do your thing, sis. You are amazing. I
Thank
love
you,
you.
love. Thank you. I love you too.
And Miss Bianca, I learned so much from you. Your story is phenomenal. Thank you for this opportunity. You're just amazing. Just how you're able to continue to pick up the pieces and keep pushing. I'm a newly Braille user, and the way you fly through Braille, like you taught yourself, I was just like, dang, like I just started learning Braille last year. So I was like, man, I want to get there one day. I was like, yo,
Right,
she's
right.
flying through this thing like it ain't nobody business. Um, But you're truly phenomenal and amazing, and I love just getting to know you, ladies. This has been an amazing journey, and we still have a few more months to go, but hopefully this is a lifetime year of friendship that we have spent. So thank you so much for an amazing year and experience.
Oh,
Yes. Wow. Miss Ashley, who is your Sash sister shout out?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna shout out Miss Deborah Fitzgerald. You know, she's the one that brought me in, and I just love her. She's just so happy. Like she's like
Yeah,
always
she
cracking
She
is.
jokes.
is a character. Oh my
She's
gosh, I love her.
just gonna keep your spirits high and keep you happy and laughing. And that's what you need. You know, you just need a good spirit around you. So
Yes.
it's all love.
yeah.
So that's my shout out.
All right, Miss Lakisha.
Shoot, my sister shout out, shoot, all of you guys, you, Courtney, Ashley, and Bianca, you guys, my sister shout out because y'all admire me so much. And first, I want to shout out to Sister Crystal from Miss Director Torch 2024. I did not know I was gonna be, be awarded to this stash, and admired. So they've been watching me like, "Oh, you serious?" And I would love Sister Walsley and Sister Belinda and Crystal and you guys are the Queen Courts of 2024 and the Queen Court of 2025. You guys are so admire me, and you do what I love the way y'all do. You show do your thing, and y'all inspire me. So it helped me to do mine, and y'all have shown me to prove who I am. And this is what I love about you guys. And we built a relationship and sister relationship. So yeah, I'm shout out to all the sister stats of the Queen Court of 2024 and 25. You go. So yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say the same for me too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love everybody that was in
Yes.
2024. I
Boy.
love everybody that's in
Mhm.
2025. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like we're all it's
But
just so amazing to see how much we do as blind and visually impaired women. Like, most
I
people
agree.
Mhm.
I
don't
agree.
have a vision problem and they
Mhm.
can't do as much as
Yes.
we do. Like, to
Mhm.
Yes.
see
I
people
agree.
running their own businesses, they're CEOs, they're
Yes.
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, they're
Yes.
designers, like, it's just
Mhm.
Yes.
amazing
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I agree.
what we all do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right, ladies. So we are going to move on to our another little kind of fun thing to get to kind of know more about you. So we're going to play a version of this or that. So pageant and this or that. So we don't have to, explain or anything like that, but you're just going to kind of tell me, what would you rather have, or what are you? So the first one is going to be, are you a glam girl or a natural girl?
Most definitely all caps glam girl.
All right, Miss Ashley.
Oh, this is hard, but I'm gonna have to go with the glam because I do love my heels. So
All right, and Miss Lakeisha.
I say national girl.
Yeah, I would say I'm kind of like a cross in between both. I'm definitely a natural girl because I'm not like with the weave or makeup or
Yeah.
anything like that. But I
Yeah.
do love I'm very girly, fashionable, and all of that. So that part of me is, yeah, the glam girl. But the natural, I don't do the lashes or anything like that. So I would say I'm a kind of combination of both. All right, so next one, rhinestones or glitter?
Rhinestones all day. I get it. That's a hard one. I would say everything that shines.
I
So
know you're
both,
sparkly, so that's what made me think about this
yeah,
one.
sparkly.
Yeah. Sparkly for me.
So you're gonna do rhinestones or
I'm gonna
glitter?
do everything both.
How about you, Ashley?
this is hard because it depends on what I'm using it for. But I guess I'm gonna go with rhinestones because you can put it on more things. So yeah,
Yeah.
rhinestones. Hmm.
Okay. All right. So your next one, flats or heels?
Oh, I'm heels all day. No, I'll answer that.
Oh, heels.
Hmm.
Definitely heels.
Yeah, I would say heels for me too.
Hill. Yeah, hill for me too.
All right, so we're going to do sash or crown.
Crown.
Crown for
Crown.
me.
Crown for me.
I say sash.
Sash. Okay, okay. She's oddball out. All right, so the last one is going to be, would you rather perform or interview?
Hmm.
mm.
Oh,
Interview. I'd rather interview.
I'd rather perform.
Let me see. For me, ooh, that's a hard one. I would say interview.
I'll go with interview as well because you can slip a little performance in there in the midst of it if you need to get it
Yeah,
in real quick.
definitely. Yeah, you get a 2 for 1.
Gotta be quick. You just gotta be quick. Mhm.
Yeah, y'all could. Yeah, definitely. I'd rather interview.
Okay.
All right. So our next segment is going to be our positive affirmation. So, you can quote something from someone famous or something that you come up with for yourself, but just leave a positive word of encouragement for listeners, for anyone who may be, on the verge of entering into the 2026 pageant. Just anything that you would like to leave for them.
Okay, a word of encouragement from Miss Blind Diva 2025. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Please don't let nobody dim your lights. Encourage yourself. Don't give up, and don't don't stop. Just keep going.
All right, Miss Ashley.
Ooh, word of encouragement, inspiration. Just be you. Just be you. And that's the best thing you can give anybody is yourself. So let God refine and purify who you are, but at the end of the day, just give people you and it'll go a long way.
All right, Lakisha.
Yeah. And let me see. Your voice is mileage. I agree with Ashley. Like I said, just be you, and yeah, be confident yourself. And yeah, you could do all things you want to be. Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. And my words of encouragement would be to take a chance on yourself. You
Mhm.
only know what you're capable of if you give yourself a chance to try, and your potential can be limitless. You don't have to put those limitations on yourself. The only limitations you truly have are the ones you put on yourself. So take
Absolutely.
that chance on you, and you'll be amazed at how far you come. All right, ladies. So we are coming to the end of our episode. So I would like you ladies to go ahead. We'll go around. If you want to plug any social media, websites, any of your brands, anything that you would like people to reach out and get in contact with you, I will give you this opportunity to go ahead and share that.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Ms. Blind Diva 2025. You can reach out to me at cbrown@eyeslikeMine.org. You also can follow me on my social medias at blingboutiquebycoco.com or my TikTok, Facebook, Instagram at Bling Boutique by Coco. And Lily's Lifesavers LLC is that, or you can also follow me on Blind Diamonds as well.
All right, Miss Ashley.
All right, everybody, I'm going to be a little unconventional. You can follow me at Inniss at eyeslikeMine.com. But also, if you want to follow me as I follow Christ, just check the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation. That's what I'm trying to do. The businesses are in the making. It's coming through vision through the Lord. So, everything is about to be made manifest. So I'm not quite there yet, but, just that's my encouragement to everybody. That's how you can follow me. Just, I'm trying to follow God. So Genesis to Revelation, and we'll be on the same page.
All right, Miss Lakeisha.
Yes, you could find me on Facebook page, Lakisha Guest, and my email is lguest@oddslikemine.org, and you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram as Lakisha Guest.
All right, ladies. And of course, you all know that you can follow me. If you want to follow my pageant journey, reach out to me at bjohnson@eyeslikeMine.org. Be sure to follow the podcast on all major podcasting platforms. You can also follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at BFF Empowerment Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a review or a rating on your favorite podcast platform of choice to help others find their next favorite women's empowerment podcast. Also, check out our website at bffempowermentpodcast.com. Subscribe to our blog to keep up to date with the latest and greatest on what's going on the podcast. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for listening.
BFF, we rise above, stronger together.